Comedy writer and actress Caroline Aherne has died at the age of 52. Aherne, star and writer of the Royle Family and the Mrs. Merton show, her publicist said. Aherne was also the narrator of Gogglebox and appeared in the Fast show. Her publicist Neil Reading said on Saturday, Caroline Aherne has sadly passed away. The Bafta award-winning writer and comedy actor died earlier today at her home in Timperley, Greater Manchester. She was 52. The family asked for privacy at this very sad time. True comedy genius. Ahern's co-stars and fellow comics have been paying tribute to her. Sue Johnston, who played Barbara, the mother of Ahern's character Denise, in the Royle Family, said, "I am devastated at her passing and I am numb with grief." Ralf Little, Denise's brother Antony in the show, said Aherne was a sister, real and, for me, fake, as well as a genius and a friend with a big, big heart. The Fast show co-star Arabella Weir told the BBC Aherne was an absolute genius and that everything she said was funny. She said, she was one of those people who was, without being attention-seeking, always funny, even when you weren't filming. Everything she said was just killingly funny. She was just a great and she was a gentle, kind, easygoing person. She was great to work with. She never made a fuss. She was just a real laugh to be around. Broadcaster Terry Christian, who had also worked alongside Aherne, said, "What it was with Caroline was she was genuinely one of the funniest people just in the pub. A lot of comedians aren't. You know they go away, write it all down and you know in real life there's nothing. Whereas with Caroline, she was so naturally sharp and witty and that's why everything she did had that risk factor in. You know if you look at the Mrs. Merton show, none of it was set up. Not a single question with the audience was set up. Vulnerable and complex." Actor and writer Mark Gatiss said Aherne was so gifted, and Little Britain star David Walliams wrote on Twitter, "Absolutely devastating news about Caroline Aherne. A true comedy genius, her work was equally funny and touching." Jenny Eclair wrote, "Poor dear Caroline Aherne, how terribly sad." Comedian Sarah Millican said, "So sad. What a wonderful talent she was." David Baddiel paid tribute by writing, "The talent, you all knew about. But she was a really lovely woman. Vulnerable and complex and damaged but, lovely. #Caroline Aherne." Some also recalled their favorite lines, with DJ and writer Danny Baker writing on Twitter, "Goodbye great Caroline Aherne. A gift and language that lives on. A vegetarian? That's a shame. Could she have some wafer-thin ham, Barbara?" Aherne was born in London but grew up in Wythenshawe, Manchester. Her brother Patrick has said she was the family joker, adding, "Nobody else in the family was like that. But she was funny from the time she was really little." She studied drama at Liverpool Polytechnic, then started work as a secretary at the BBC before finding national fame in the mid-1990s with Mrs. Merton, in which she starred as the eponymous chat show host, and the Fast show. The Royle Family, which ran for 3 series and featured in several specials, told the story of a dysfunctional family. Aherne wrote it with co-star Craig Cash, drawing on her own childhood experiences and the people she met growing up. It won 4 awards, including Best Actress for Aherne, at the 1999 British Comedy Awards, before going on to pick up the Best Sitcom Bafta in 2000 and 2007. In the Mrs. Merton show, a series of guests were subjected to questions in front of an audience of pensioners. One much-quoted example is when Mrs. Merton asked Debbie McGee, "And what first attracted you to the millionaire Paul Daniels?" The Mrs. Merton Christmas show won the Best Talk Show Bafta in 1997. Aherne was nominated for BAFTAs for her performances in both shows, as well as for directing the Royle Family in 2001. Much loved by audiences. BBC Director General Tony Hall said, "We are deeply saddened to learn of Caroline's death. She was a brilliant, award-winning comedy writer and performer, much loved by audiences, especially for the royal family and Mrs. Merton and for her wonderful voicing of many shows. Our thoughts are with her family and friends. Gogglebox tweeted that everyone involved with the program was devastated about the passing of our dearest Caroline, who we all adored. Former ITV chairman Lord Grade said, "We have lost a most original talent. The royal family will live in the mind with the greatest situation comedies."